I am back again, guys, and courtesy of Jason Payne again, who actually sent me the Fly Sky Noble mod. He's decided he wants to do an RC8X, and I've already looked at this radio. I hadn't previously seen one in person, and I gotta say, this thing is nice. I mean, it feels great, and
welcome to Radiolink.
I haven't, I'm not going to do any kind of detailed review or anything, but my initial reaction is this thing's better than the Noble. At least the interface and everything, and some of the functions I see in here are just wow. Gotta figure out how to turn that beep off. It'll drive me nuts. How do you do that? Oh wow. Okay, so at the Ronald McDonald theme. I'm gonna give this a shot. What I did notice on this radio, everything's phenomenal. But for the rear steer mod, I don't have a knob here, but this comes down pretty far. So you're gonna have to put the knob pretty low, otherwise you're never gonna get your thumb through there. So I'm hoping it'll go right in there and not interfere with this button. So I'm not going to show every tiny little step on this one. If you want to watch me bore a hole in plastic, you can watch one of the other radios. I will show you how to disassemble it and what's inside of it and the actual installation of the pot, and then any tricks anything that you need to know to do this radio. If you're going to try to do this one, I would recommend watching a couple of the other videos. Probably the first one is the most detailed, and the G7P, the GT5 and G7P, I think those are the most detailed, so you watch those. And one thing I noticed though, this is not a potentiometer, this is an encoder, and you can tell because it clicks and it just spins forever. This is a potentiometer, and it feels like crap, which surprised me. But I quickly realized that the plastic on the cap is rubbing, and I'll show you real quick, on the nut, because it's actually bolted in, and it has a bushing, and it has a metal shaft, which I was kind of shocked. So this, when it's not rubbing, watch, I'll never be able to, there it goes, feels great. So it's a high quality potentiometer. It's just not in a good position for us. You can't do it with your thumb. It's impossible. And this thing sticks way out there, I don't know if you can see. So with one thumb, you'd have to make some kind of like thing to do that. So it's not really ideal for rear steer in any way. Even if you do the thumb thing in this, just doesn't work very well. So I'm hoping that we'll take this amazing radio and make it even more amazing. Yeah, so I'm going to get to disassembling, and I'm just going to kind of update you about where stuff is. I'm really hoping, yeah, it looks like this one is going to have to like come completely apart, because this is probably, I don't know, we'll have to wait until we see, because it is panel mounted with a little bushing bolt there. So maybe it's wired. Oh, wouldn't that be nice? Don't have to mess with the circuit board soldering. That would be nice. But I'll get busy, and I'll just gonna kind of like pop in on the video and just keep you updated on any tricky thing that I find, so that you don't, it'll speed you up if you ever try this. All right, so I'm gonna get to work. All right, so first thing, got the battery out, is just like, you know, a lot of other radios, it's got this rubber back strap, and you just got to get something, carefully get something sharp under the corner right here, and then these little rubber things will pop out. And you just work your way around, and hopefully you don't tear it or rip it as you're doing it. That's in there really good. So it takes some wiggling, and if it doesn't feel like it's going to come, don't rip it. Kind of go at it at a different angle. Kind of get your fingers under it, tug on it. It's coming off. Let's see what's under. See, that one's really stuck. I don't want to rip it off. Oh, there it is. All right. Back strap off. All right. Some screws, Phillips heads. I don't know what that is. That's interesting. Scary. We shall see. So I've got some of the screws out. I just want to show you that there are additional screws, and they are under these little rubber things. And you need something sharp, like a safety pin or something. And you get down in the corner and you grab a hold of it, and it slides out like a cork. So if it won't come apart, I've found 3 of those so far. Just like the GT5, it's got those rubber things. And I see 1, 2, 3. I think there's just 3 of them. Give you a little update. Had to take this plate off, just 2 screws. No drama there. Some of these are hex. I think probably 2 millimeter, I'm guessing. So there's 1 screw. These are Phillips. And then this is like a 2 millimeter, and these 2 are 2 millimeter. And then this little breakout board comes out like that. So that's interesting. Okay, that had me stumped for a minute. So it seemed like it wanted to come apart, but it's kind of like I didn't want to force it. And it might not show up very good in the camera. There's this little piece of trim right here, right? And everything else is split down the center except that. So I got the little pick out, and I got in the corner of it and pried it up. So there's a little piece of trim goes all the way across the front. So be super careful getting that thing out. I haven't quite figured it out yet. So yeah, that little piece of trim in the front is a pain to get out, and you can see it's just got those little things. But you got to pry on it in just the right spot. So that's that. Oh boy. Oh boy. Trying to keep it together as much as possible so it's not all over the place, but maybe too late for that now. Is it 2 buttons? Is that how it works? So I guess this big button in the back, I'll put it in upside down. It's actually 2 buttons, depending on which side you hit. Oh, I've never noticed that. Pretty neat. That's a button. That's a button. Pretty cool. All right, okay, that little mystery thing, that is actually the vibrator, it looks like, for haptic feedback. So this is what we're looking at inside. And already see that we're going to be able to put a pot in there. Just eyeballing it. It's going to be tight, but it'll work. I'm not seeing any surprises. I don't see any ribbon cables. Let's see what's on the other side with this potentiometer. I do see a lot of little delicate wires and a lot of little delicate connectors. I might have to take a couple of those off. I don't know what I need to do. This is probably holding the whole thing in there. Oh, man. Okay, guys. Here's the first surprise. If you want to access that potentiometer, take these two screws out, and this whole thing comes out. And as you can see, right there's the encoder. And right there's the potentiometer. So, damn, it's on a plug. How about that? How about that? See, I used to do helicopters and planes and all that kind of stuff when I got out of it. But back in the day, man, like futabas and stuff, if you broke a knob or a switch or something, they were usually on plugs. And you just order a new plug and you take a few screws out, and then, 20 minutes later, you got a new one in there. These cheapo transmitters, well, not cheapo, but, they just make them cheaper, and everything's mounted right into a circuit board. So this is nice. You are not going to have to solder on a circuit board. You could actually crimp it and not even use a soldering iron. So very cool. This is going to be way easier than I thought, which kind of blows my mind. And I'm probably going to be skipping around because I don't have 3 hours to sit and play with this, so this is probably all I'll do for tonight. But I will put the videos out as I make them, I suspect, because they're going to be just here and there. Really cool. Really cool. I like the construction of this radio. Everything's on a plug. Every single thing is plugged. That's how you do it. Yep, I really like that. I don't see anything that's not plugged in. Every wire goes to a plug, and a lot of them have plugs on both ends. The only thing I see soldered are the potentiometers, and they have a plug on the other end that goes in the board. Very cool. Oh man, what a mess. All right. Let's hope I can remember what I'm doing when I get back to it. There, guys.